He says, my girlfriend isn't a fan of Barndos, but I'm wondering if you could convince her otherwise.
I probably can't. You probably need another girlfriend. I mean, I mean, if she don't like Barndos and you're moving to the South, I don't know how it's going to work out. You know, I'm sure you love her and all, but I mean, we want to get you in a Barndo. You know, we got a lot of great ladies, you know, in the South that will cook you biscuit and gravy, sweet tea, man, and they're sassy, man. They'll tell you what's up.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
This is one of my favorites. So we used to do these things called barn burners.
Okay.
And it was at the end of the episodes for like the first year of the show. And then I'd get put on the hot seat, have to answer questions. But now I got you two guys. And so I've got a ton of questions from some of our YouTube followers and stuff. And I'm just going to hurl them out and y'all throw the answers back, right? So especially if you have opposing views. I hope you don't, but
I'll be here for moral support.
Okay.
All right. I think Lance gets the technical ones and you get more of the emotional stuff, right? No,
No, please no.
All right. So this first one is going to be kind of a lot of questions from one follower we got, SC Rogue Guy. He answered the call big time here. So the first question he has is, please cover the SFH home line and the differences between them and Barndos in terms of build style, options, etc.
So I'll take the options and the first part of the differences, and then he'll do the build style. It's cool.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So basically, you have the brainchild idea of making things easier, more affordable, especially during it was kind of post-pandemic and we saw some economy changes and stuff like that. So the cool thing about SFH is you don't really have many choices. I mean, everything is very stock oriented. You get to pick out some colors of the things that you want, but it's really made for efficiency. It's made for speed, and it's made for cost. So there's people that want the look and the quality of what we do, but the budget may be prohibitive from doing a custom Barndo or even some of the stock. And SFH they're absolutely beautiful. But as far as being able to customize, highly customize and stuff like that, one of the ways we save money is not doing that. And this is the floor plan. This is what we're going to do. And that's fine. There's a lot of people that don't want the Cheesecake Factory menu and want every option. They just want simplicity. And that's what the SFH is there, but it still has our quality builds and our quality products that we put in it. And as far as the type of build.
So, yeah, I remember there was a point in time when we didn't offer it where people would be like, well, I don't really care about the high ceilings. And, you know, like the metal trusses aren't that important to me. Like you can cover them up. But the problem is that with the post frame hybrid, you know, system that we have, like everything that we do as a standard, which most people would charge as an upgrade, you know, 2x6 exterior walls, spray foam insulation, it was still so expensive for the people where that stuff didn't matter. So I remember when we were like, well, we need a line that, you know, has 9-foot ceilings where, you know, we use, you know, prefabricated wood trusses, 2x4 exterior walls, but we're still not going to sacrifice on the things that matter. Like we're still going to do like the open gable porches and all that stuff. And that's kind of how SFH came to life. It's a more affordable option that still has, you know, exterior Barndominium flair that still looks good. And yeah, it limits options, but you know, there are some people that they don't want to take a bunch of time. Like they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Like they want minimal options. You know, I'll pick my cabinet colors, I'll pick my countertops, and it was designed to be faster, not just for the client in the front end, but like in our process too, because if we know that nothing on the plan is changing, we're a little more prepared for it. It makes it easier on our subs, it makes it easier on purchasing. So the goal was to have a faster, more affordable product that still had a lot of those Barndo cosmetics.
How fast was that when we did in the lower state? That was cash.
It was like 7 days, I think.
Yeah, 7 days. I mean, you didn't have to deal with the bank.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cash customer.
Well, I would
Everything
say
was crazy fast.
2,000 miles high. This would be my perspective. Is it's not post frame.
Yep.
Exactly.
It has vinyl exterior walls or vinyl exterior siding rather than metal, and it has asphalt shingles rather than metal roof. It has bat insulation rather than spray foam.
Yep.
Right, and so like those things took the build cost down in combination with 9-foot ceilings, but we left most of the interior finishes the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same cabinets, same countertops, and it's still based off the same legacy Barndo plans that everybody's come to love. So if the space was more your main target rather than the features, then we could get you in it, right? So like, you know, you could get a top of the line Tahoe, but if you need the base model Suburban, this solves that need. And I've got to hit the bathroom.
No, you're good, dude.
I should have went.
You had your chance, bro.
Let's dive back in here. I got another question from SC Row Guy. After you go through onboarding, how long is the final price good for?
So we hold that final price for 120 days. And one of the big reasons that we do that is everything changes. I mean, this economy changes, labor changes, everything changes. We can only hold on for so long, but we feel like that gives people enough time to, you know, make sure that they're funded and all that kind of stuff. And we just can't hold on to a price forever. So 120 days is where we're at right now.
And after 120, you go back through, price might not have moved at all.
Yeah.
But it could have.
Exactly. I mean, it keeps people from just hanging out for a year and then expect us to build it for what it cost a year ago. We can't do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good. Are you aware of any current clients that have gone through a refinance? Any input on how that process works with a Barndo? And are they still limited like the initial construction lenders seem to be?
I'm assuming he's thinking post build and they're refinancing.
Yep.
So one thing that's really cool, we had one of our early builds up here in the upstate, early as far as in the company, and the people had to, for personal reasons, had to move and sell it. And I can't remember. I know what they sold it for because I saw it on MLS. Yeah. I think they were selling it for like 1.2 maybe or something like that. Right. Now, it had some land with it, but I think they built it for like
less than $500,000.
Less than $500,000. And what's really cool also is we have a lender right now that offers a free refi after 6 months. Yeah. So I mean,
yeah, the cool thing I would say to expand,
I've never heard anybody lose value.
Well, it's because of the process, though.
Right.
It goes back to the way we build. You're not limited on lenders either. So, in the grand scheme of things, dealing with Barndos, you got a small window. If you build with us, we have a very reputable build system, and we have a very good reputation with lenders. And so we have literally hundreds and hundreds of lenders. I don't know that we've ever encountered one in the last 2 years that we couldn't build with. It just might not have been favorable to the client because they had some stipulations as a lender. So yeah, if you build a Barndo co-Barndo, you're not going to have any issues with a refi, assuming that, you know, the economy hasn't shifted or things outside of that control. But in terms of the value of the home, it's going to hold its value and probably increase in value, just like any other custom home would.
That's correct.
So what is the warranty process? Is there a 1 or 2 year inspection done after the build is complete?
Great question. So currently the way we do it is there's layers to it. So I'll try to explain it as quick and efficiently as I can. So we have in-house warranty, stuff that we cover. Every single one of our operating agreements that we have with our subs is that they will warranty their labor for 1 year from the day you move in, not from the day that they actually do the work, from the day that you move in. Now, anything like plumbing, HVAC, you know, things like that, things that have appliances, those things need to be registered with the manufacturer. So there are parts warranties on those things. So when somebody closes and they make final payment, we send them an email with a PDF and a ton of information on how our warranty works. And it gives them a step-by-step of how to go into Builder Trend, which is the software that we use to put warranty claims. So anything that's an emergency or anything that has to do with electrical, plumbing, or heating and air, we put a magnet on the inside of their panel box in their house where they can call the service number direct to the sub that did their job. We also have an emergency number that we rotate and carry that we want people to send a text to if they couldn't get in touch with that person. But anything outside of the realm of those things, we have a 60-day where the project manager who built the house comes back, and everything that was put in that portal from the day that they're onboarded into warranty until that 60-day mark we'll have a punch list for that project manager. And what that 60-day list is for, we understand that people are in a hurry to close, they're in a hurry to move in. We do our best to do what we call a new home orientation walkthrough, where we go, we check everything, we show you how to operate things in your home, general maintenance recommendations. But we understand that there's some things that you're just not gonna find them until you're living in the house. Like, you might look up and see something when you're in the bathtub that you just didn't see when you were in the house. And that's what the 60-day warranty is for. And that is actually handled by the project manager, managed by our warranty manager. At the 1 year mark, that's where we take care of settlement. So as a house settles and acclimates, you're going to have things that shift. You're going to have drywall that cracks. You're going to have what's called a nail pop, where they actually nail the drywall and those nails start to back out. That's where we would look if there was a crack in the concrete. Sometimes, it happens earlier in the build, we monitor it, and at that 11-month mark, that's when we check to see whether what the tolerance is on that. But we actually do a walkthrough where we come through and do another blue tape. But it's just a sheetrock blue tape to take care of all those nail pops. And then anything that kind of fell between that 60-day mark and that 1 year mark, if there's a door that's out of adjustment, a lock that's not lined up, certain things like that, we take care of, at that meeting. So the answer to the question is that there are things that are covered for, 2 years, sometimes 5 years, but those things are covered by the manufacturer that provides the parts. The labor is covered for 1 year. And then we have a structural warranty that's basically in line with each state. So, whatever the state requires for a structural warranty, that's how long we warranty, the structure of the home. And that would be, and there's a lot of information that the client will get when they get to that point that shows them, what's covered under all these different things. But, that would basically be the structure of the home.
That's awesome. Does Barndo Co. offer unfinished garage spaces?
Yes.
Yeah, that's our standard.
Yeah.
So I would like to caveat off that saying, like, will we come build you an unfinished garage? No. But when we build garages, our standard pricing is an unfinished garage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I guess I can just take it a step further. The reason why we do that is because a lot of our garages are so big and the ceilings are really high, because if you're doing the metal trusses, they're vaulted. We do insulate and sheetrock the common wall, which is the wall that separates the garage from the house. And that will actually have drywall on the garage side as well. So that will be drywalled on the inside and outside and insulated. But we have a square footage price for garage. And if we included finished drywall and paint in that square footage price, it would make our cost to build a garage significantly higher. So if people want us to either just do drywall or insulate and drywall it, we will. But just as a standard, no.
Perfect. Oh, and then he goes on to say, yeah, I have a call scheduled this week to get more info and plan to start onboarding process in a few weeks, but I figure this would be a good question, potential clients. So we appreciate you, SC Road Guy. Those are good questions. I wonder if
We'll see you at the site
so
visit.
did you guys onboard a SC Road Guy? All right, here's a good one from RU Silver. Do you ever do heated floors?
We have a build right now where we're doing heated tile. So if the question is like, will we do heated tile in a bathroom? Yes. Do we prefer not to do heated concrete? Yes.
Yes. I think it's a fine line of will we? Yeah, we will, but we're going to do everything in our power to convince you not to do geothermal
Yes.
Oh yeah,
because of the area we build in.
Mhm.
It's very, very difficult to see an ROI on it. If it's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's just like, I got the money and this is what I've always wanted, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
You know, it'd take a little bit of time. We have to find somebody that's reputable to do that install and go through the process. And like, you know, it's just one of those things. That's a custom, right? You're
Oh,
going
very
into a
much so.
custom environment with that. But based off of now, again, and this could change if we were to expand up, you know, into some of those other zones like up in the
Oh, yeah.
Northeast or the Midwest, there could be some value there. But where we build in the Southeast, you ain't going to get your big return on investment there. Even with the geothermal cooling and all that, it just, I promise you, your geothermal cooling is not, unless we bury that house 3/4 wall depth
Yeah.
into the ground, the geothermal cooling is never going to bring it below 86 degrees in the summertime. So we just don't offer it very often. Will we? Sure, but we're going to give you a lot of education on why it's not a good idea, a good investment. There's other things you could invest in that would have a bigger ROI.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Barndo Show is sponsored by the Southern Farmhouse Collection by the Barndo Co. If you are in the market for a new home, and maybe you've explored the barndominium side, but you need more space for your dollar, and you're limited by budget, check out the Southern Farmhouse Collection. What we've done is took a traditional build style, applied it to all the tried and true and loved and cherished Barndo Co. plans. You can check out more details about the SFH Southern Farmhouse Collection at thebarndoco.com. All right. Trenton Reynolds said, I'm really interested in your products. I'm looking to move from Wyoming to Charleston, Somerville.
Woo.
That's a big difference.
So we could dive into some Charleston, Somerville stuff about some of the counties down there, but this is the part, this is a Lance thing.
Oh, great.
He says, my girlfriend isn't a fan of Barndos, but I'm wondering if you can convince her otherwise.
I probably can't. You probably need another girlfriend. I mean, I mean, if she don't like Barndos and you're moving to the South, I don't know how it's going to work out. You know, I'm sure you love her and all, but I mean, we want to get you in a Barndo. You know, we got a lot of great ladies, you know, in the South that will cook you biscuit and gravy, sweet tea, man, and they're sassy, man. They'll tell you what's up, and but they love Barndos, and you know, I just say find another one. No, I'm just kidding. Don't find another girlfriend.
They're double named. They're like my daughters.
Oh yeah, like Susie Q.
Yeah. You find your little double name Southern Belle. She's dreamed of a Barndo her whole life.
Yeah. But you know, I think the most important thing is fly down here, and we usually have tours at different places at different types of builds. 100% guarantee you, she comes down here with you. You have a great, you know, wonderful weekend in Charleston. Take a carriage ride, eat some wonderful food, and as soon as you know, go to one of our barn tours, make sure you have a glass of sweet tea with you. And by the time you finish the barn tour, one we have in the area, I guarantee you she's going to love it. And honestly, you're not going to get the quality we get down here if you're building for the price for anybody else.
Yeah.
So
we've had this before where normally the wife is sold and the husband
yes,
is like,
usually the
I
other
don't
way.
know about this, you know, and then they come in and from a build science perspective, they like to tour them when they're in construction, right?
Yeah.
Like when we
Yeah.
used to do our big OBX bus tours and stuff, dudes eat up the unfinished one because then
Oh,
they're
yeah.
in there looking at the posts
Man,
and
when
the
you
trusses.
feel a 2x6, you're like, why doesn't everybody do
when
this?
we build them, it's like from dirt work to rough ends. It's like it's in the husband's territory. And then like as soon as we hang drywall, he's like, let me introduce my wife.
That's right.
But I'll say from my perspective too, like when you look on the internet at like the way that some people are doing barndominiums, where they're putting like poles in the ground and they're framing horizontal girts around the exterior and they're retrofitting barns, like we're a custom home builder. Like
Yeah.
we have a post frame hybrid barndominium style. It is a barndominium, but we have lots of clientele that would not have normally built a barndominium. I mean, we have houses where if you were standing in the kitchen, you would not see a difference besides the metal trusses from any other custom home. I mean, and a lot of people choose us because of just the structure and the quality of how we build. It's not just aesthetics; it's the bones of the house too that make it what
And
it
if you're
is.
Charleston and Somerville area, there's a high chance you could be in a wood truss environment anyway.
Or
So,
yeah, exactly. Or you could have a Asian longhorn beetle quarantine.
That's right.
Now I do have
If
one
you
more.
had to choose, Nick, whether he should buy in Charleston or Berkeley County, which one would you pick?
Berkeley.
I never thought I'd say this, but Berkeley.
Now I do have.
We'll build anywhere. It's fine.
I have one more piece of dating advice for him. The other thing he can do is he can wait till she goes to sleep, grab her phone and just Google search Barndominium 1,000,000 times, go on her Facebook and search Barndominium and like our page, and then she'll just naturally see all our beautiful stuff because she'll be in the algorithm.
That's right.
I mean, just don't get caught.
It's a brainwash method.
Don't get caught. You get in trouble if you get caught.
Oh, all right. Well, we probably did more than answer.
Hey, we're fixing
That one.
relationships too here.
Let's see here. Oh, he dropped us another one. So Trenton asks, what type of metal is it and what type of coating is applied to it?
Our standard is 29 gauge tough rib metal. We do offer upgrades, like we do standing seam roofs. But yeah, I mean, I know the paint is warranted for 30 years. It's a Sherwin-Williams paint color. The coating, I'd be lying if I tried to answer that question, but
No, it's a 30-year painted coating.
yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure that, if we had Jeff or somebody here, they could go into an extensive review as to what all is in there. But what's the caveat though, right? He's in Charleston, Somerville.
So there are, yeah. So when it comes to salt water, and we learned this the hard way, it doesn't matter if it is a brackish creek, intercoastal. There are certain distances that you have to be from any body of salt water for the paint to be warranted.
Correct.
And then there are routine maintenance recommendations like rinsing it with clean, water, once a year and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the only caveat is distance from salt water.
Or not use metal.
No.
But yeah, we also offer hardy siding. So hey, you can have the best of both
If you
worlds.
can afford
You can get the metal
land that
trusses.
close to the water, you probably need hardy siding.
You can get a barndominium, and if your girlfriend would rather have hardy siding on the outside, we're more than willing to do that too.
That's right.
I know that's right. I don't know how to say this one. Toxic horn.
Toxic what?
Toxic horn.
Okay.
This is directly a question for Nick.
He's-
Because Lance and I also would like to know the answer.
Okay, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be great.
When will you start building in Western North Carolina?
when enough people want to build there where I could hire a project manager. No, we do build in Western North Carolina. We build in Hendersonville. Transylvania is on the maybe list as long as you're not, on the side of a mountain in Pisgah National Forest or DuPont, National Forest. Yeah, I mean, I think that when the demand is there, I think that it's
But it's more than demand because
the
listen,
landscape is tough.
the landscaping is tough.
I don't even know it's the landscape as much as it is. Let's go back. Think about Western North Carolina. That stretches all the way over to Highlands and all those areas. And without that was blue, and we turned it gray because of what? Subcontractors. And the demand. Our objective is to offer an affordable custom home. And unfortunately, when the majority of the homes, and Western North Carolina's a big area, so I don't know what area you're talking about here, Toxic, but we when you get over in some of those areas, Franklin and West,
Yeah.
you're talking big luxury mountain homes and big luxury homes, and the subcontractor base up there is charging such a premium that we would almost have to double our prices.
Yeah, it's a labor desert.
To be able to do it there. So we could build you a Barndo there, but the pricing would be highly dependent on what the labor rates are in that area.
Yeah.
And we just didn't feel comfortable with that. We didn't feel like we could justify, charging $400 a square foot for a Barndominium up there.
Yeah.
And we just hadn't solved that riddle yet. But if enough demand was there, we would probably figure out a way. It's just one of those areas that's really strange. And we also had a client that was up in that Brevard area, and we onboarded them. We did the due diligence. We went up there, and then they had a late perk for a well, and that well had to be located where the original house plan was. And when we went up there to look at how we were going to fit that house, we were basically going to have to dynamite out a piece of a mountain. And it was like, this isn't worth it. Like,
again, perk early, we know.
And I would say too, like you said, Western North Carolina is huge. So like Western North Carolina, like Jackson County, Glenville, it's a labor desert. I mean, there's no industry there. Buncombe County, we have taken some on a case-by-case basis, which it's not too far from, Henderson County, but currently everything Henderson County and east of there, we do service. So that would be, I can't even think of what's on the other side. I know that west of Henderson County is Transylvania, and we do take some on a case-by-case basis there.
Yep.
So.
No, we want to be there. It's just, logistically, it doesn't make sense for every county.
Exactly.
If you're close, if you're one county or two counties removed from blue on our map, call us. Because we might make an exception.
Yeah.
I don't know who this is. AGISLER 87. But this is a good question. That's, talking about some sheathing here. And I've got some input, but I'd love to hear yours, Nick. I'm in Texas Zone 3. Do you always do exterior sheathing? I'm a building science nerd, and I'm about to build a red iron Barndo, and I'm trying to decide if I should do exterior zip sheeting.
Yeah, I mean, is the question about should you sheathe them at all, or should you use zip system?
Yeah, sheathe them at all.
Yeah, so first of all, in order to me, sheathing,
just general Barndo knowledge, Nick.
In Zone 3 in Texas, just general.
Sheathing is the most. So from a construction standpoint, sheathing is the most important part of the house because that's where your shear. I mean, that protects the shear of the home. I know that there are some people that do girts and do a thicker gauge metal, but in most of the counties we build in, with the wind zones and the seismic.
So you can do that. If I'm being fair,
like you can
engineer it to where your shear is accommodated in the metal.
Yes, you can.
The reason why we sheathe everything, there's two primaries. One is we use open cell insulation as a standard. You cannot spray open cell direct to metal.
No.
You can't spray open cell direct to Tyvek behind metal.
No.
And we know that open cell insulation is the best option if you're going to live in this home. Because it's one, it's cost effective. Two, it does provide great R value.
Yeah, it does.
Three, it's very sound deadening. It makes that home very, very comfortable. We were closed cell people in the beginning. We also didn't sheet houses in the beginning. There's a lot of Barndo builders, good friends of mine, that'll sheet the sidewalls, and then they just girt straight across the purlin straight across the trusses on the roof and go direct metal. And we won't do that because we encapsulate the entire build. We're not putting a roof on it and then insulating the ceiling. We are encapsulating and conditioning your attics, and everywhere mechanicals are located, we're conditioning that space too. So that wood sheeting, whether it's zip, plywood, OSB, depending on the area, allows us to do that. It allows us to use the insulation system that we prefer to give what we consider to be the most comfortable living environment.
And I'll speak on the zip if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like my perspective on it. Zip system is a great product. it's more expensive, and it has rain screen options,
Yep.
which are phenomenal. You know, and the biggest thing is making sure that it has the flashing and the tape have to be applied properly.
Yep.
So like if you're gonna use zip system, you have to use a framer that knows how to use it, and it has to be rolled on properly and all that. A lot of builders don't use zip system because it's not branded.
Yep.
But
Well, I could go even further there because I'm also a building science nerd. If you haven't figured that out from prior episodes, 2, that's pressure sensitive adhesive, that tape, and you're supposed to put it on with a roller.
Yep.
And if guys are running it with their hand, and
Which they will if you don't watch them,
air behind it, it could be the smallest air bubble. It will peel and fall.
Yep.
And so now you do not have a moisture vapor transmission rate that is advertised. If you use house wrap, and we use a high-end house wrap, we use a very high-end non-woven type house wrap, it is a very high MVTR that allows us to know, because the biggest battle in barndominiums is condensation.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why we got away from doing closed cell foam DTM, because if you have condensation or a leak or anything, you don't know, because the closed cell seals up and is a full vapor barrier to where that watershed is pushed down into other areas of the home where there's wood, and you could end up with years of water damage and rot that was completely unknown to you because it doesn't make itself known. So that in and of itself, that's a big one, right? So zip system, it's a fantastic product.
It's a great product.
We've used it. Like it's not a standard for us, but we have used it.
Yeah.
But you do have to watch the things. I personally believe that plywood and or OSB, depending on what area you're in and what kind of application we're doing, coupled with a very high performance house wrap, is a superior system. It is a superior system. It's easier with a smaller room for error, to where you know that it's good. And in the event that you ever had something happen, right? So your kid ran the golf cart into the side of the house, or they dung a baseball and it put a dent in the metal or something, a cosmetic issue, and you cut it out. If they damage that house wrap, they can literally cut it out, tape in a new piece. You're right back to dry. If they did that to the zip, you're in a whole nother world.
Yep.
A whole nother world. And to be honest with you, we were walking around, if you have zip on your home and you notice where they shot a nail and it blew a chunk off of the painted surface.
That was another thing I was going to say too. The pressure on the nails are critical when you're using zip sheathing.
Yep. Anything that changes the material makeup of the exterior that highly, highly, highly impacts its overall performance.
Yes.
So
it's less forgivable.
Yeah. So you have to be cautious of that. The second thing, there was 2 reasons why we sheet our houses. One was the insulation type. The second is we offer a lot of different custom options. If you're going to do architectural shingles, you're going to have a sheeting up there to put them on. We do it as a base so that if the customer decided they wanted to do shingles, it's ready for it. If you want to do standing seam, it's ready for it. And that could be a nail-on, a clip. It could be any type of roofing assembly. Our house is designed to take it as a standard. Same with your siding. You could go vinyl. You could go hardy. You could go LP. You could go any type of metal. And we have it built, ready to accommodate without having to make any changes. In the future, you could renovate your home.
That's what I was going to say. If you ever wanted to take the metal off and put hardy siding on, you could.
Yeah. So we're because we build nothing but turnkey residential properties, we're always thinking as a homeowner, long-term value. And I believe by sheeting a home, it adds a massive long-term value and gives you more options. So down the road, you can do things that people typically do to their home without having to do a whole lot of re-engineering and reconfiguring.
You're not using your siding to meet your shear values. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions. Those are some good ones, dude. If you are listening to this and you want to ask a question, drop it in the comments below. We will circle back and do another one of these. It's always fun to get, throwing some curveballs, and
especially dating advice. We'll give it.
Yeah. Lance is offering dating coaching.
Yes.
Especially for Western transplants to the South.
Yeah, absolutely. I got you.
But anyway, please keep the questions coming. Put them in here. We love taking time to answer those and try to be as effective as we can, and tell you why we do what we do. and then, you know, compare it to what industry standards are, because what we do doesn't have to translate to every builder, and what they do doesn't translate to us. It's basically what best serves you. So that's the perspective you should take, but sometimes building science is pretty indicative of what should be. But gentlemen, thank you for
Thanks, man.
spending the day and then doing these Q&As. This was super fun.